feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
All right. Okay. Whatever. Let me switch over to some rap shit. We don't say cheese. I read that already. Got into that. G Herbo respond to a picture resurfacing of him throwing up the rakes as a child. He says, I didn't want to look like a follower, so I used to say I was GD for no reason. What? So when you throw up the rakes, that means you're GD. When you drop the rakes, you're like GDK? Okay. G Herbo says, man, I was a stupid ass kid. I was being rebellious. All my homies was stones, but I didn't want to look like no followers, so I used to say I was GD for no reason, and we used to fight each other. I took this picture literally on 75 in Kingston, in the heart of Terrortown. He says, don't gangbang kids, go to school. Get some money, take care of the fam. I was like 9. Peace, unity, love. Man, beat the streets. That's dope. He basically saying that, yo, I was just a kid, impressionable kid. And by the way, you have to be a complete hater or be a really miserable person to not believe that explanation. This G Herbo looks really young. He looks like he's exactly like 9 years old. Would you expect a 9 years old kid to be repping the same gang or saying the same thing that he's saying at 30, 35? Come on now. I think people know, like, you know, if anything, this shows why this is sad. G Herbo was born in and grew up around gang culture. It probably made, even if he came from a good household, came from a good house, who knows? Well, I guess we do know where he grew up at, but even if he came from a good neighborhood, he was indoctrinated around gang shit that was going to probably force him to be a gang member. Kids around him was throwing up signs. He felt like he had to throw up signs. That was the cool thing to do. Unfortunately, from where he grew up at. That's what he was watching. Nah, everybody rocking with this. You got it, whatever. Maybe he wanted to be rebellious. Nah, I ain't rocking with that. Nah, I'm the other guys. But for you to say anything, and I think people like drummed up this picture to say G Herbo switched gangs or like, no, he's a child. If anything, we should open up a broader discussion. How many of these kids are getting jumped into gangs or getting put on when they're like 14 and 15? Bro, they couldn't even make up their mind on what they want to do next week, yet they have to be lifers with a gang that, you know what I mean, they might not stand for the same principles once they come to age. So I do think that's rather sad. And his explanation, for anyone who needed it, I believe it. Like, you know, we're online these days, so like everyone loves the gotcha moment. Like, you say you this, but yo, we got the video or the picture of you not being this. Bro, look at him. These are kids. Now, hey, I'm going to be honest and be fair with the comments. Some people say, nah, you're wrong about this. That's the age you get put on or you do your thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not from that environment, so I'm still looking at it where you're a young kid. Bro, you might also be just emulating. It's the same way I would think kids emulate. You know, they watch these movies and they hear these songs and people glorify gangsters and shooters and what they do with their friends. They play cops and robbers and they have fake guns and they whatever. They try to emulate what they see. Are they having the thoughts of actually being these things at that point? No, they think that's the cool, trendy thing to do. Are we going to hold them to that standard? Now, I get it. There's a lot of people in my comment section that are saying, no, you're wrong. That's when you get put on. So, I don't know. Are y'all that invested to go find out if he got put on being a GD at 9? And then later on, maybe he switched gangs to now being a BD? I really don't care that much. But I do know people are invested in this type of shit. Some people say, yo, niggas jump off the porch early. Somebody says, yo, I got plug GD at 13. All right. Okay. I'll be wrong. Remember, I'm not the gang member. I've never lived this type of life, so I'm the square guy speaking on this. So I'm looking at this like this is a kid. I'm looking at this like him playing with a toy. I don't know what he probably don't know what he's doing. He look young as fuck right here. Everybody in this picture look like they're teenagers. They're kids. I've heard kids say, "Yo, fuck this," and then they grow up to be older and be like, "Nah, I was tripping. I don't even know why I said that." But if y'all are saying this the age where kids make cognizant decisions of joining gangs for the rest of their life, and if they then change their minds to either switch to another gang or not want to be in a gang, that means they're fake, they're a fraud, or they're a bitch, whatever. Cool. I'll let y'all rock with that. But from what I'm seeing, it's like a kid. Now, again, I want to give credit to the people who are in my comment section. A lot of people says, this is why, no, this is when niggas usually get put on. People get taught stuff. These kids are not just throwing up random stuff. He was aligning with the GDs at a point. No matter how young he was, that's the age mad of these young YNs get on the set. So if that's the truth, it is what it is. It is what it is, okay? G Herbo, I'm going to take you at face value, but here's the thing. I'm pretty sure this won't go away. You know why? Because there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to be like, all right, we're going to take your words of you saying you didn't know, and they're going to find some other pictures or find some other people who could possibly say you did know. We'll see. All right. Let me, somebody said I'm not reading super chats. Let me open up the super chats. Let me open it up. Oh, you want me to give you a rod wave